Hello, welcome back to another weekly vlog.
I should have told you that I loved you one more time.
So it's funny because last week I literally said I'm going to try to vlog every week because I think it'll be easier than trying to film standalone videos, and I still think that'll be easier, but it's literally Thursday today and I have not vlogged at all this week. To be fair, I just got back to my parents' house yesterday night because I went there for Mother's Day. I went on Mother's Day and then I stayed for a few extra days just to hang out with them and see them one last time before I leave for my clerkship, which, by the way, I'm moving on Saturday. So I need to pack, which is something that I haven't done. So what I've been doing today is chores, editing last week's vlog so I can go up on Sunday and edit. I had to edit the video that went up today and schedule it to upload and stuff because I wanted the vlog to go up today, but it just wasn't going to happen, so I didn't worry about it. Look at Murphy. Can you see him? He puts the pillows on top of himself when he sits over there. But I'm just going to sit down. The other thing I have to do today, I need to do laundry, and I need to pack up the stuff that I have in the kitchen that I want to bring with me. So I want to bring like my single serving blender. I want to bring my tea kettle because Matt doesn't really use the kettle. I want to bring a baking sheet. I want to bring a loaf pan. I want to bring one of the muffin tins. I'm typically the only one who uses those items anyways, but in case he needs to use them for whatever reason. Baking sheets he does use a fair bit if he's going to bake something. But anyways, that's sort of what I've been doing, is making a list of everything I need to pack. And I'm going through my clothes to figure out what I need to bring. I know I need office wear, but then I don't know how much like casual wear I'm going to need. Because here's my thing. I like wearing an outfit, right? Like throughout quarantine, I got dressed every single day because I like putting on an outfit. I like doing my makeup. I like doing little things with my hair. But I have a feeling that since I'm gonna be getting ready to go to work every day, I have a feeling I'm gonna come home and I'm not really gonna wanna put on a different outfit. I'm gonna wanna put on like bike shorts and a t-shirt. So I'm planning on packing a lot of that kind of stuff. And then maybe a couple of nicer tops for like going out in case I go out for something that's not directly after work and do something. Just so that I have a few like nicer things. But I have a feeling most of the time I'm going to be dressed pretty casually. Okay, I went and got my camera stand so that I don't have to just hold my camera in front of my face. But it's shaking now. That's great. I wanted to talk about some of my reading updates. So I did finish This Is How You Lose the Time War. I read this at my parents' house. It's pretty short. It's a sci-fi sapphic love story between these two warring factions. So there's red and there's blue, and they're on different teams in this time war. So they're both going backwards and forwards in time, trying to do things that will benefit their side. And they start writing each other love letters, or rather they start communicating via letter, and then that makes them fall in love. So it's pretty weird. I gave this 5 stars though. It's beautifully written, and just the way that the authors played with time, because it is by an author duo, Max Gladstone and Amal El Motar, I think is how her name is pronounced. So yeah, I really enjoyed that. I also am reading currently A Good Girl's Guide to Murder. I'm a little over 50% of the way through that, which is a YA mystery thriller about this high school senior who's trying to write her capstone project for her her senior thesis or whatever on a murder that took place in her town. And so she's doing a bunch of research under the guise of her project being about the media's role in crime, or in like crime reporting and how that interacts with the crimes that take place, I guess. But really she is trying to prove the innocence of the man who killed the man who allegedly killed his girlfriend, because then he committed suicide. There's just all sorts of fishy circumstances around it. And so she's teamed up with his brother to try to prove his innocence, essentially. It's pretty good so far. There's a lot of twists and turns. I'm enjoying it quite a bit, and it's really easy to read. So I'm hoping to finish that tonight, because I've got the sequel on hold for my library, and I can't renew it because someone else wants it after me. And so the reason I decided to read A Good Girl's Guide to Murder is because I didn't want to bring a ton of library books with me to my parents' house, and I thought this is so short that I'd probably finish this, and then I could have something on my Kindle to read. I didn't end up reading that much of it. I didn't end up finishing it, which was my plan. So I don't know that I'm going to get to Good Girl, Bad Blood. But my plan is, if I finish A Good Girl's Guide to Murder today, and I can read some of Good Girl, Bad Blood tomorrow. I might try to finish it on Saturday before I go, but I just don't know if I'm gonna have time. I keep saying I'm gonna try to read all these things, but I just don't know if I have time to do it before I leave. So that's where I'm at. I need to pick my next book for the Readathon that I'm in right now, the Star Wars Readathon. May the Force read with you, because I'm doing that all of May. And this was my, second or third book for it. I can't remember. I think this was my third book for it. I'm losing my mind. I'll have to double check. But then I also read the essay, We Should All Be Feminists by Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie, which I liked. It was essentially the same as her TED Talk. So if you've seen the TED Talk, I don't think you need to read the essay. I had seen the TED Talk several years ago, but still, it wasn't anything like new or fantastic. But I did like it, and I like getting her perspective because she's from Lagos, so it's interesting to have the perspective of a Black woman who's not. Because I think like the Black American experience is different than like the Black African experience and the Black Caribbean and the Black British. I just think it's like a different experience to get, and I think I get a lot more of the just American experience in general. So I know a lot more about like race relations in the United States than I do other places. And so what I thought was interesting about her essay is that she doesn't really discuss a lot of how being Black has impacted her feminism, because where she grew up, most people were Black, whereas in the US, I think being Black impacts your experience a lot more than it does, if that makes any sense. I don't know if that does make sense, but I just thought it was interesting to get her perspective on things as well, as a Black woman who lives in the US now. I think she lives here now. I don't really know. But I know she has lived in the US before. I don't know if she currently lives there. But all that to say, I am now trying to pick my fifth and final book, I think. Or maybe I'm just trying to pick my fourth book. I can't remember. Because I know I read Amari and the Night Brothers for this, but I thought I read something else. But I don't remember what it was. It doesn't matter. Now I'm trying to decide what I'm going to read, because I want to read something for the, I think it's Force Vision prompt, which is to read something from the past or from the future. Which is like a sci-fi or a historical fiction. And my plan was to read Wanderers by Chuck Wendig, but that's a big book, and I don't know if I'm really in the mood for it right now. I've been mood reading a lot. And so I'm thinking I might read 2010 by Arthur C. Clarke, because it's a sci-fi, but it's technically set in 2010, which is the past. So I can't decide how I'm going to do that. I just don't know. I also have a historical fiction that's a leftover book from April, which I might read, and I still plan on reading. I just don't know when I'm going to read it. So anyways, I have all sorts of things that I still plan on reading that I just don't know when I'm going to read them. But I wanted to start this vlog, and I don't know how much I'm going to actually get filmed, because everything happens all at once, you know? I'll check in with you when I have another update. Hello, it's Friday. I finished A Good Girl's Guide to Murder last night. I really enjoyed it. I ended up giving it 4 stars. I did call the ending kind of early on. So I don't know, not entirely. So I was still surprised at how it all played out, but I sort of guessed at the major player, if that makes sense. But I did give it 4 stars, and I didn't give it 4 stars because I was able to sort of figure out who was involved, because like I've mentioned before, I like knowing before the main character. Like I like getting the opportunity to find out things and like pick up clues along the way with the main character. But what I will say is the book is set in a commuter town in Connecticut, and you can tell that the author is British. So she uses British slang a fair bit. Like she calls the characters cheeky and like a cheeky smile, which isn't really something that Americans say. She also has the character at one point be like, "It's because you fancied me." We also really don't say that. We say you liked me or you had a crush on me. We don't say fancied. And the big thing that she did over and over again that just like kind of drove me nuts, because I feel like she could have done it once if she was worried about the reader not knowing what she was talking about. But this is what really tipped me off to the fact that she was not American. She called New York Manhattan the whole time, which Manhattan is a borough of New York. There's 5 boroughs of New York, yada yada. But I have never heard anyone outside of like Brooklyn say, "I'm going to Manhattan." usually when people are talking about going to New York, they mean Manhattan, so they say I'm going to the city or I'm going to New York. They don't say I'm going to Manhattan. I'm gonna be in Manhattan for the night. Again, unless you're in like Brooklyn or Queens, maybe, I don't really know. I just know people who lived in Brooklyn who would say they were going to Manhattan, but anyone else I've ever talked to who's lived in New Jersey, Connecticut, even like outside of the city in New York, you say you're going to the city when you're going to the city. That's what you say. So it was just weird when she would be like, people coming back from Manhattan. I don't know. That's the big thing that really tipped me off, that I was like, this lady is not from the US. But I did like it. Like I said, I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed the character dynamics. I enjoyed the diversity of the cast. I felt like the author focused so much on Pip's project, because A Good Girl's Guide to Murder is about her senior thesis project on this murder that took place in her town. But I feel like she could have included more scenes with Pip and her friends, or with Pip just like being a teenager, to make it feel more realistic and more grounded, because it just kind of felt like you were following this adult woman and then every once in a while something would happen and you'd be like, oh yeah, she's 17. So I did enjoy it. I don't want to nitpick it too much, but I've mentioned this before too. I'm not very good at pointing out things that I like in books, but I'm really good at picking out parts that I don't like. So who's with me? I don't know. But my plan for today is, I've been packing all morning, by the way. It's like almost noon. I made myself a little salad for lunch because I'm trying to use up the last of my food that's here that's perishable. I'm also trying to figure out what clothes to bring, because I have my work clothes set aside that I'm going to bring, that are like my office clothes. But then I'm trying to pull out like casual clothes to bring, which I think I've mentioned in this vlog as well. So that's what I'm doing right now. I've packed up my makeup. I've packed up my like toiletries section, except for the face wash that I'm going to use tonight. And I have an extra toothbrush packed in case I forget the toothbrush that I've been using. That way it's like no pressure. I'm gonna have to buy toothpaste because we only have one tube of toothpaste and I don't want to take it away from Matt, so I'm gonna leave the tube of toothpaste here. Or actually, he might pack it in his stuff, so we have it while we're there. But I'm gonna have to go grocery shopping in Kansas City to get a few things to start the week. So lots of exciting things are happening. But yeah, that's what I'm doing today. I am trying to read this because I have to take a few books to the library. I also remembered the other book that I read for the May the Force Be With You. May the Force Read With You Readathon. Sorry. The first book I read was The Damned by Renee Ahdieh. I was like, I know I read something else, but that's what it was. So I have to read this. I don't have to, but I'm going to try to read this. It's just under 400 pages, I think, or is it just under 500 pages? Please be just under 400 pages. Yeah, just under 400, thank God. So I am going to try to read this today, or as much as possible today. Again, so that I can run books to the library tonight or tomorrow. Just in the little like drop-off slot that's outside of the building. But if I don't finish this, if I get a good chunk of the way in and I don't finish it today, then I will keep it and just pay the late fine on it. Sorry to whoever's next in line on this book, but that's just how it's got to be. Because this is due the 17th, I think, which is, or maybe the 22nd. It's due sometime when I'm going to be gone. Oh yeah, I think it's due the 22nd because I think I'm going to give it to Matt next weekend when he comes to visit me. And then he'll just drop it off on Sunday, so it'll be one day late, so I'll have to pay a fine, but I'm okay with that. So that was a really long-winded way of saying that nothing has changed in my life, except for I finished that one book. So I'm just gonna go back to what I was doing. I'm gonna eat my lunch, I'm gonna drink my late coffee, and I'm gonna pack. Okay, goodbye.
I don't really know what you mean when you say I'm not what you need. 'Cause I've seen the look you give me, and it's a silent killer. I've been waiting